A journey begins with one small step. It doesn't matter how hard you hit, whether you win or lose. What matters is that you have a common goal. And to reach that goal, it takes a band of brothers acting as one. Every week, we come together to witness these gladiators of the gridiron pour their heart and soul onto the field. This is Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
Welcome to Veterans Memorial Stadium in Old Forge, Lackawanna County. Tonight, the championship is on the line for the Lackawanna Football Conference Division III as undefeated Dunmore takes on undefeated Old Forge. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. Welcome to Week 10 of high school football. Joining me in the booth tonight, former Scranton Eagle quarterback John Kennedy. Our own Aaron Dugan will join us shortly. And John, we know next week Old Forge will play Lackawanna Trail for the District 2 Class A championship, and we know Dunmore will head to the 2A semifinals. So is there anything to play for tonight?
There certainly is. These kids, Bob, first of all, it's a rivalry game. Second of all, they want to retain an undefeated season at the last game of the regular season, and they also want to measure up against the other best small school in this area.
The talk for Dunmore has been their defense, 6 straight shutouts, but the offense very balanced this year with our Wisnowski Spotlight Player of the Game, quarterback Gavin Darcy.
Darcy has provided balance to a historically run-oriented Dunmore offense, throwing for 18 touchdowns so far this season.
For Old Forge, they have a good defense as well, and the top offense in all of the division, our other Wisnowski Jewelers Spotlight Player of the Game, is their running back, and he's a good one, Brendan Mozaleski.
And Mozaleski has rushed for over 1,000 yards in just the last 5 games, putting his total up to 1,600 for the year. It should be a good one, Bob.
It should be a good one here tonight. There's a championship on the line when we return. It's the opening kick and the starting lineups. It's Old Forge and Dunmore next.
You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
We are back at Veterans Memorial Stadium at Old Forge, getting set for 2 undefeated teams, Dunmore and Old Forge. Third member of our crew, as always, is Aaron Dugan. Aaron, Dunmore comes in leading this series 37-22, but it's been pretty close over the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely, Bob. With the exception of Dunmore beating Old Forge 36-6 last season, it's been a pretty back-and-forth series with these two teams. If you take a look all the way back in 2013, they split. Dunmore won the regular season game, and the Blue Devils came back to win the District 2 Single-A title. 2012, the opposite happened. But a really fun fact, Bob, those 2 wins by Old Forge were their first against Dunmore since 1980.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, John Kennedy, but Old Forge has caught up as a program with the Dunmore, so we should have a good game tonight. It seems like they're evenly matched. Dunmore won the toss, they deferred. Rinaldi to kick. Surya-Vaughn from his 11. And we are underway for the Lackawanna Football Conference Division III Championship. Nice return out past the 30-yard line. And now time to take a look at the Toyota starting lineup for the Blue Devils. Freshman Dante Lucarelli, 6 foot, 180 pounds, has a great arm, and we'll see a lot of Holtzman. Great receivers on the outside with Surya-Vaughn and Rios, and up front, they are experienced. So up front, John, they average near 250 pounds. That's really a big size for a Class A type school.
It certainly is, and to protect that young quarterback and keep him upright all night tonight.
It will be a lot of Mozaleski, 170 carries on this season. First one, and Dunmore meets the match. Shooting in, Nick Shoemaker, the senior.
What a good, nice play Shoemaker made and was not blocked. It looked like he slipped right on through. First play of the game, you want to come off the ball really hard. And if you miss the block, Bob, on the offensive side, that allows a defensive penetration. And what we had there is running back not able to get any kind of ball.
Neither of these two teams, John, have faced much competition over the last couple of weeks. So now that you are facing guys the same size, does it take an adjustment time?
It's a little bit of different level there, Bob, as you see. Backwards pass right there.
Yeah, but looks like a lateral from the freshman to Suryavong. Dunmore recovers, and the Bucks have good field position just outside the 20.
And you watch as he pulls it out and throws it, you got to make sure you're back further. The ball just sailed on him, hit Suryavong's hands and bounced over his head. He was thinking it was an incomplete pass, but you got to know that as a receiver. If you're behind the quarterback, if I don't catch it, I got to get right on it. Big turnover to start the game.
First mistake of the game goes to the Blue Devils. Dunmore has it at the Blue Devils' 22-yard line. Come back to the eye. Pass towards the end zone. Touchdown, Dunmore Bucks. One play, one score. Steve Borgia, his 4th touchdown of the season.
Oh, that looked too easy, Bob. There was time there as Darcy drops back to look. Plenty of time, a little bit of late pressure. He just flipped it out there, and Borgia got behind the defender. Easily was matched up on a linebacker to beat him for the first score of the game. And the first offensive play, Dunmore has things rolling early.
The Bucks defense, or excuse me, offense that averages near 40 points per game. One play, one score, Rinaldi on for the extra point. Snap is up and it is good. And Dunmore takes the early lead, 7-0. And Old Forge, you better start playing because this is a team that's going to pop you.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a little bit of shock there. The first couple of plays, first the turnover, touchdown right off the turnover. That's the way you want to do it as a visiting team in a hostile environment here in Old Forge for the Bucks. They got to feel good about their first couple of plays.
Some teams have been down to the Lackawanna Football Conference Division III. As we know, 18-0 between Old Forge and Dunmore. The rest of the division, John, 27 and 45. The scores have been very lopsided towards Old Forge and Dunmore.
This is the first real test for both of these teams, and we're going to have to see now if the Blue Devils can come back facing some adversity early on both offense and defense, having big plays against them.
Old Forge coming off a 53-7 win over winless Holy Cross. Dunmore took care of Carbondale a week ago easily themselves, but it looks like Dunmore has come in with a little bit more pep and more intensity.
They certainly did. Right from their warm-ups to the opening kickoff, when that coverage team flew down, there would seem to be more energy on the Bucs side of the field.
So another kick, another Suryavong at the 10. Has some hole, has some speed. Suryavong into the open. He's caught by the kicker, but not after another 60-yard return from Tommy Suryavong.
Oh, you can see his speed, Bob. As the kick comes down to him, he just sees that little seam, follows the blocking right up the fold, and then cuts it back. And I'll tell you, if the kicker wasn't there to turn him to the outside, he may have been gone easily for a touchdown.
Advantage Blue Devils in the special teams with Rios and Suryavong. They can take it to the house. They have the speed. Just
what Old Forge needed to get back in here, have a big positive play, good field position. Now the offense has to start pounding on those Dunmore defensive line.
This is an offense that averages nearly 40 points as well. First pass of the game goes to the tight end, Kenya. Good gain, but we do have an injured Blue Devil back at near the 40, and that is Lucarelli. That is the freshman quarterback Lucarelli, and it will be a Dunmore penalty.
Yeah, I think they're going to get him for roughing the passer. As he let the pass go, they kept on in there at all levels watching the quarterback safety.
Here is that defense, very experienced up front, and do they have size? They give up only 3.5 points per game. Does this Dunmore defense, very active linebackers in the secondaries, very strong as well, as you might expect. So a late hit on the quarterback. And he is on the sidelines, shaken up. Let's see if we can see it again.
He comes rolling out to the right, little play action. Has his tight end in the flat, turn up. He actually slipped. He would have had some more yards, Bob. But we couldn't see it at the end there. The defender drove him into the ground, and right in front of the referee, you're going to get called every time when you try to drive the quarterback into the ground.
So what we didn't see was the big hit put on Lucarelli, and who did it. So the 15-yard penalty now going to be marked off.
And what happens is this gives him a little bit of a breather after getting a little bit shaken. You saw him getting up slowly. you know, with the penalty and the time now, gets him to let himself gather himself over there. He's him shaking his head coming back in after getting the play call from the coaches.
So the ball now inside the 15, up a 14. Blue Devils into the red zone for the first time this evening, trailing by 7. Ball came out, but Mozeleski was close to the out of bounds. He's inside the 10 to the 9.
Yeah, just following some pretty good blocking, again, on that first down play. It's just him taking the toss, going to the short side of the field here, following his blockers, turning it up. Ball did pop out, but I think the whole pile moved over. It may have popped back into his hands, but out of bounds for a decent pickup on first down of about 4 yards there. Almost 5.
It is a cliche, but this game will be won in the trenches tonight.
Absolutely. Both lines are outstanding where they got them, where they are today at 9-0 each. So we'll see who makes the bigger plays on the offensive line and defensive lines.
Mozeleski slips down on the grass here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. Gains maybe a yard. 3rd down on the way.
Pull the guard there, followed him, trying to get to the outside, and I don't know if he'd have much room. As we see, that was number 4 for Dunmore. That was Yanisco flying up there, make the play.
They can get a first down inside the 5. They do have a good kicker, Kranitsky, a junior, so they are in field goal range. Mozeleski cut it to the inside, but the defense is right there. 4th down forthcoming.
That's good pursuit again by the Dunmore Buck defenses. Mozeleski getting a hole up front at the line of scrimmage. He's looking to the second level of trying to make a play. Those linebackers that are very active for Dunmore are taking the angles away from him. He doesn't have much daylight.
Harity on the bottom of that for the Bucks. So Dunmore hasn't given up a score in 6 straight games.
They're going to be tested now.
Well, even if you get a field goal, and Coach Schuback is going to go for it inside his 10-yard line on 4th down. Timeout called on the field, and it will be taken by the Blue Devils.
Yeah, smart play. You want to make sure that you make every opportunity to stay back in the game and get a good play. Make sure all your players know what their assignments are. If the coaching staff saw something that they're going to look at, they're going to relay it right now to the players and make sure that your quarterback knows exactly what you want done. And should something break funny, you don't want to have a big turnover or swing and give the Bucks the ball back here. Even if it isn't able to score, you could throw it out of bounds and give them the ball back with a long field to go.
So a Keystone Container timeout taken by Old Forge. 7-0 Dunmore after the lateral pass was picked up, and then it took 1 score for the Bucks to take the early lead. Already full house on here, playoff-like atmosphere, as you might expect in Old Forge on a beautiful night.
We've talked about it before the game. Perfect weather this season for football all throughout, and what a way to have an undefeated 10th game of the regular season. Big crowd, great weather, and I like how Old Forge has brought the ball back down in scoring range right now to answer Dunmore's first touchdown.
There's Coach Schuback. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Coach.
16th season here with the Blue Devils. 4th down on the way. Mozeleski, the only back. Do they go to the air? A little pitch. Mozeleski looking for anything, but Shoemaker's there to make the stop, and I think he's going to be short, and Dunmore takes over on downs.
Yeah, just too many people there as they ran that bunch. Originally, they lined up with the bunch wider, Bob. After the timeout, they got a little bit tighter as they pitched it coming left of the wide side. Mozeleski tried to get outside and cutting back inside. No room. 3 Dunmore Bucks there waiting in his cutback lane.
So right now that shutout streak continues. Old Forge unable to take advantage of a very good kickoff return. So our second chance now to see the Bucks offense. So the ball on the 8. Give it to the big running back, and he's hit by Mozeleski and stood right up. But it's tough to take down Damiano at 5'11", 230 pounds.
Well, that was a nice tackle as he stepped in. That's what you call filling the hole, Bob. As he stepped inside, blocked them in and out. Mozeleski was the only man-on-man to take the tackle and made the most of it there and shut him down for no gain. Right here. Good block, double team, and then Mozeleski filling. And blocker could not get in front of him as he reacted really quickly into that hole.
This Old Forge defense, they give up just under 10 points per game. Just 162 total yards. Second ranked in the division. Behind, you got it, the Dunmore Bucks. Back to Damiano. Bounces, stood right up. So now Old Forge finally, I think, feeling the intensity in this game.
Yeah, I think that Old Forge's defensive line now answering for Dunmore's defense, saying, hey, you know, you shut us down, we can't run on you. You're going to have the same problem here coming out of your own end inside your own 10-yard line.
Here now the Toyota starters. Seen Darcy throw the pass already. Damiano's the big running back. Very good receivers. Borgia has that touchdown, and up front, as you might expect, just one junior, and that's the center. Everyone back from a year ago.
Experienced line, quality line, and they're getting it done so far this season.
Third and long on the way. But Darcy's got a good arm. Gonna look to the outside, and it's almost intercepted. Goes incomplete. Looks like Suryavong on the coverage.
Yeah, that was good makeup speed that time. Ball was thrown low to the outside where you want to put it. But as you see, he rolls to the right here, trying to flood pattern with somebody in the flat and somebody a little deeper running out pattern. And Suryavong stuck his hand in there. If he had got the other one up, Bobby may have picked that ball and turned it over to give the Blue Devils another good shot at a score.
Something these teams don't do that often this season is punt. Dunmore's going to have to kick this one away. Damiano does the kicking from his own end zone. Should have good field position. Good rush, good high kick. Rios picks it up, stiff arm. He's taken down quickly by Fangio, but Old Forge will have the ball near midfield. Here, who we expect, John, to have a big game for Old Forge. Lucarelli already shaken up. Oh, we see Suryavong already. And on the defensive side, another Suryavong.
Suryavong's all over the place and making big players. And the impact players, they've already started to impact things in this ball game early.
Special teams definitely going to be a key tonight, especially with a guy like Suryavong and Rios back to receive. Alexis Suryavong has 42 tackles coming in. John, 22 of those for a loss.
Yeah, that means he gets penetration in the backfield.
Back to the toss. Not much for Mozeleski. Give him about 3.
A patient run that time as he watched his blockers and tried to set up angles where he could make the most of it. You see here coming to the short side, the toss again. Not a lot of room, but he waits till his blockers set them up and then follows them behind them patiently to pick up that 3 yards on first down. It looks like they like that short side toss. They've run it a couple times so far, and I think Mozeleski is okay in tight spaces.
We're used to seeing that from the Old Forge offense to the short side. Mozeleski, a little hole, takes advantage. Biggest run of the night for Moz. Give him about 10 inside the 40.
That was a nice job that time. Lead block got him in there. Blast play, as you'll see it. I formation. That was number 80, Kanan.
Yep, Kenya.
Kenya is the first man through when he takes on the linebacker. Les Mozeleski have a little running room. That's the first time we saw him get some open room at the second level and get the first down, get this Old Forge Blue Devil team moving those chains.
Old Forge, Toyota key to the game. Mike Schuback says we need to win the first downs.
Absolutely. You don't want to be in second and third and long against this Dunmore defense.
Straight ahead, really nowhere to go.
That time the door was shut by the Buck front line. And pretty much a solid wall of white.
Morocco in there, 6 foot, 290 pounds.
Yeah, one of the big boys.
Yeah.
You're not going to move him out of the way. You're going to have to try to run around him.
2 of the biggest lines we've seen all season. Lucarelli finds Soryavong. Soryavong with speed. Taken down, big gain inside the 20. 17-yard gain for Old Forge.
Big play after getting shut down on first down, Bob, with no gain. And come back with that 2nd and 10 play and pick up a first down and keep it moving. Play action as he comes back, quick release that time by Lucarelli, and he finds Soryavong in between the zone there, just at the first down marker. And Soryavong, you can tell quickness. As soon as he got the ball, he was ready to dart out of there.
Let's talk about Lucarelli, just a freshman, but boy, we saw him pregame, 6'1", 180. He's pretty built for a 14, 15-year-old kid.
He doesn't look like a freshman.
So movement. Mazelewski inside the 15 to about the 13, gain of 6.
Yeah, they're continuing to get some pretty positive yards when they go to that toss. When they tried that middle on first down a few times, they were stonewalled. Looks like that toss is their bread and butter play. It's coming at you right here. Outside, back inside, and I'll tell you, he takes on tacklers and is not going to be shut down with one man quickly. He drags them, gets a big first down pickup, and we talked about Coach Schuback telling us first downs. You know, you get 7 yards on first down. It's a whole lot easier calling plays than it is if you get nothing on first down.
The one thing we do want to watch for, John, both coaches talked about, I asked them, you know, there's a championship on the line. We know that you're going to play. What about the play calling, though? How conservative are you going to be? You're not going to show your teams next week anything that you haven't seen all season.
No, you're just going to play football and do what you do best and try to match up head-to-head with them and say, let's play our best football and get our stuff going into the playoffs.
First and goal, Old Forge, and Dunmore, Toyota key to the game. And we're seeing it here. You have to be disciplined on defense. What does that mean?
Basically, they don't want to get fooled by any kind of play action and get beat and get a big play behind them. They got to play their position, make sure you shut it down. If they get some yards, don't let the big play happen.
So for the first time in a long time, this Bucs defense is on their heels. Go to the air, Lucarelli to the end zone. Touchdown, Old Forge.
Oh, Bob, he threw a dart, put it right in there. Lucarelli shows his arm strength there.
Tommy Soryavong, his 7th touchdown of the season.
He was pretty well covered, too. I'll tell you, that ball was put right in there, and he turned it up, and he wastes no time, Soryavong. When he gets possession of the ball, wastes no time in turning it. You see it here as it's play action. Looks like a little draw fake. He got it around, and, boy, right in there. And the defender was there where he should have been. He just couldn't make it with the speed of the ball going by him.
Yeah, McDade just couldn't come up with it. So, bad snap. So the scoreless streak is broken, but Dunmore still leads, 3:39 to left. In the first quarter, it's 7-6 Bucs.
Old Forge Pharmacy supports the Old Forge football team. Voted the best pharmacy in the Triborough Reader's Choice Awards 2 years in a row. We offer free delivery, free management of all your pill boxes, and all prescription insurance plans are accepted. Good luck to the Blue Devils from Old Forge Pharmacy.
So the Blue Devils go 7 plays, 52 yards. They break the scoreless streak given up by Dunmore. No touchdowns or scores since 6 games ago. The ball comes out. It's on the ground. It's recovered by Old Forge.
What a big play there and a big hit.
They're going to say he was down. Let's see on the replay. I think O'Malley had it. We'll have to see what number on it. O'Malley with the return.
Up in the thing. That was number 80 again.
It wasn't down.
I'll tell you what, no. That ball popped out. Big hit. Kenya just drilling him in the middle of the field. I don't think he anticipated a hit like that.
Well, it's Dunmore ball.
Wow.
We'll take a look at that again in replay. He wasn't. Little reverse. Borgia. Nowhere to go. Maybe a yard at best.
That did look like to us up here. It looked like it came out.
Oh, here's the kickoff. I don't even think he was near the ground, was he? He wasn't even.
No.
Not even close.
Wow. Wow, did they get away with one there, huh? And they were quick to call the play, so don't get it reversed.
The guy was standing up.
Yeah.
So a break for Dunmore. They retain possession. Couple yards on that. Damiano nowhere to go. On the ground is Lexus Suryavong.
Bob, you sense that the Blue Devil defense is starting to get a little momentum going their way now by shutting down the Bucks in the last series, getting it back, and now, even though they didn't get the fumble back, they're mighty disciplined there to not let any holes in the middle.
Good pass to O'Malley. He's going to be ridden down, short of a first down, about 38.
O'Malley got open on the out pattern. Darcy delivered it. We'll see him drop back. He's looking from the whole way, running his out pattern, picks it up. He was open, good cushion given by the Old Fair defenders, and then two of them coming almost broke. He did break out, but stepped out of bounds as he broke 2 tackles.
So 4th and a yard.
This is where they're going to rely on the big boys up front, Bob. I think it's going to be one of those line up toe-to-toe, and let's see if we can knock you back further and get that first down.
Dunmore with a late at under 10. Let's see if they either take a timeout. And if Coach Hens is not happy, has to take a timeout on the punt. 2:02 remaining, and a very entertaining first quarter. 7-6 the score.
That certainly is what we thought. You know, you thought, oh my goodness, when it started off that after 3 plays into the ball game, Dunmore's up 7-0. But you said, oh boy, Old Ford's going to be in trouble here. But the big kick return gets them in field position, and then on the next series, taking it in for a score to make it 7-6. Very entertaining so far.
Yes, both teams will move on to their respective classes. Old Forge will host Lackawanna Trail next week for the Class A Championship in District 2. Dunmore will host somebody next week in the 2A semifinals. This is a good warm-up for them.
Both teams want to be going into the playoffs playing your best. You want everyone healthy, you want to be running at all cylinders, and you want to have confidence going in. That's why, even though the playoff implications don't matter tonight, both of these teams really want to stay undefeated and go in with a victory into the playoffs.
And both teams are top seeds, and both teams are the favorite, and both teams have been talked about around fans and media alike that make a little run in states, but you have to get by this game. You have more games after this, and you want to come out healthy.
Absolutely, that's probably the key. And with small schools, you don't have the depth.
Coach Schuback looking for a birthday present.
Looks like the punting team come in now, Bob.
47, Frank Damiano to punt for Dunmore. Anthony Rios and Tommy Suryavong back for Old Forge.
Rios and Suryavong back at the 30. Nice high kick. On the bounce, Suryavong from his 25. With some speed, taken down quickly up near and past the 30 to about the 31-yard line.
Nice coverage that time by the Bucks, coming down off a high punt, and that's what a high punt will get you, your coverage team coming down. As you see, Damiano kicking it, and the one big bounce. Suryavong was trying to get that on the roll as he takes it, try to take a quick step. But nice job by the coverage team. You see a lot of white jerseys surrounding him with no room to run.
So Lucarelli comes back into the huddle. Was shaken up momentarily on the last possession. On a late hit. Didn't look like it affected him at all on any kind of passes. Back to the ground they go. O'Malley meets Mozaleski. Muscles for about a yard.
O'Malley did a nice job of filling that hole again. Whether he was unblocked or just scraped as a linebacker and got inside. Mozaleski couldn't make a move on him in the open field there. Good tackle.
In the first half this year, Old Forge has outscored their opponents 236-38.
I see that one-on-one tackle right in the hole. We've seen a couple of them now, and that's one of the reasons why these teams where they are. They have good tackling defenses.
O'Malley comes in with 5 tackles for a loss on the season. Again, they're not going to do anything fancy. Just kind of line up, see what happens. Up past the 40 goes number 4.
that time was not just a straight lead play, but they sent the fullback the other way, Bob. As we'll see, fullback going right, tailback coming left, Mozaleski taking it outside, using some speed, and then just taking what he can get down to the sideline before he took it out of bounds. Will they gamble is the question. Are they going to get in one of these third and very short situations, maybe a play action, and try to go deep for a home run ball?
How open will these offenses be tonight, knowing they're going into the playoffs? Yes, you want to stay healthy. There's the ball, and kicked right back to the quarterback. Takes another big hit. Old Forge recovers, but they'll be forced to punt.
Lucky bounce there. That was bad timing from the get-go. As when you drop back to try to get your tail back and you don't meet in the mesh point, only bad things can happen when the defense is coming at penetration on a third and short there.
So Mozaleski does the punting, which is about 36 times. This is only his 10th punt this season. Lefty with a nice high spiral kick over Bourget's head. Thought about picking it up. Wise move, get out of the way, young man, and he does. Dunmore back out to the 18.
For over 20 years, Sweeper Central has been your home for the complete line of household and commercial floor care products. And we are the only independent Hoover commercial and retail dealer in Northeast Pennsylvania. Call John Gregory or visit us in Dunmore.
So the Bucs offense comes back out. Ball inside the 20th and 19. 81 yards away. They lead 7-6. We're late here in the first quarter. Both teams now, John, I think have settled in. Give it to the fullback, and it's a cornerstone play for the Bucs. Parity, no running room.
I'll tell you, that Old Forge interior is showing what they can do to answer the Bucs, and that not a lot of room inside for either team. One of that, just that quick fullback hitter. Looks like they gut trap there, following the guard, but a lot of navy blue shirts around him.
Undefeated Old Forge, undefeated Dunmore. 7-6 the score after one.
Welcome back to Friday Night Rivals right here on MyTV, WQMY. I'm roaming the Old Forge sidelines, and I have one of the Old Forge dads, Art Lucarelli. You are the father of freshman quarterback Dante Lucarelli.
I am.
And wow, what a season it's been for him. Did he come into the season knowing he was going to be the starting quarterback?
No, he actually won the starting position over in camp, and he worked really hard in the off season. And so that's basically where he was at. But he put a lot of hard work in, and Coach Schubeck put his faith in him, and it's turned out to be a good decision.
How much fun has it been for you watching him?
It's been unbelievable. It's just been, I think, a parent's dream come true to watch your son, actually just excel the way he has. I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of this team. The atmosphere here is fantastic. It's a wonderful feeling, let me tell you.
What was he like all week? You know, this is such a huge game, and he knew it was going to be a big rivalry. Was he nervous? Was he talking about the game?
You know, I'll tell you, he's not a nervous kind of kid. I think what he gets from his mom. His mom was a pretty good athlete, and he has ice in his veins, much like she does. I'm more of a nervous type person, but I'm glad he takes after her in that aspect.
All right, well, sky's the limit for him. Thanks for stopping to chat.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Proud parent right there. Back on the field, 2 drop passes by the Bucs.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that time Nate Fangio's behind the secondary on the first play at first down as they went deep. And this is the last play where Fangio's trying to run a dig pattern to the middle, and he just took his eye off the ball as it bounced from his hand to his shoulder pads and out. And you can tell by his reaction, he's not happy about that. He knew he should have had it.
So how many times has Dunmore punted this year? 3 times in the half. This might be the first.
The record for the whole season.
Suryavong with room, has speed. Inside the 30. Ridden out of bounds inside the 15. Another big return on special teams.
Oh, Bob, that young man has some wheels, doesn't he? He kicks it into gear. Not only the speed, but he broke the tackle, as you see him take it here. A pretty decent punt to get it out midfield. And he gets it, one little move there, and here's the one. You think he's going to go down, had both arms wrapped around him. He just broke out of that and then exploded down the sidelines. And if it wasn't for the last man standing down there, he'd have took that in the end zone. Big field position by Suryavong has aided the Blue Devils now in scoring opportunities. This will be actually the second or third time he's done this to give him good field position.
Key to the game, Old Forge dominating already on special teams.
Certainly, other than the extra point that they couldn't get in there, but their return game has been excellent so far.
And that's been a staple all year long, and they're winning the field position battle, except for the turnover on their first possession. Old Forge at the 14 of Dunmore. Bucks rise to the occasion. Shoemaker their first hit.
You know, even though you don't get the big plays, you got to continue to pound, do what you do best, even if the defense is up to it right now. They'll be able to make some adjustments blocking-wise as the game goes on and in the second half. But again, to get away with from what you do best is not wise, and you know, both of these coaching staffs know that. They're going to say, here's where you're missing the block, here's where we're not doing this right or that right. Small adjustments to try to make those plays be positive plays instead of negative ones.
The Blue Devils offense coming in 342 yards per game. Play action. Out into the flat. Kenya couldn't handle it.
The dropsies have been spread to both teams here, Bob. Kenya was wide open in the flat. They run that little waggle play. And you have Lucarelli rolling to the right. Man's open there. He does a nice job of getting rid of the ball for a young kid, freshman. And you'll see here, good play action. Rolls out, get rid of the ball quick is the key. And got to bring that ball with you.
Borgia was right there, though, on the hit, so not sure if Kenya maybe heard the footsteps. So third down, Lucarelli into the shotgun. First flag of the night? Or a timeout call? It's a timeout call for the Bucks. 10:48 remaining here in the first half. 7-6 your score.
You could have seen something in the secondary alignment, Bob, that they said, uh-oh, we could be in trouble here. As you saw that Lucarelli was going to pass the ball that time. Right now, I would have to say momentum has been with Old Forge since that opening few plays that Dunmore really took advantage of. Certainly the field position has been all theirs.
Absolutely, and the defense of Old Forge has held Dunmore
Shut
back.
them down, yeah.
And that's really what, and then add in the special teams returns, that's given advantage.
We expected a defensive game overall, and the field position of the special teams be one of the keys, and so far, that's holding true. And there you go, Old Forge's key to the game, no mistakes inside the 30. So they want to make sure that they try and get one of these, got to get into the end zone, and they can't come up short like they did on that first drive deep.
Well, the first possession makes that a big key to the game because they gave up the ball inside the 30 on the lateral. Dunmore scored their only touchdown.
Big opportunity here for the Blue Devils.
At the very least, you want to come out of this with 3 points, I would think.
And if they have the kicker with the range to do it, to go up on the scoreboard and get positive out of this drive.
It didn't look good on the extra point. They couldn't handle the snap, but
maybe the field goal will be different.
So Hopkins, the center, puts it down. Lucarelli has a man caught at the 10.
Gonna bring up a fourth down.
Going to be short of the first down.
He's looking to the right. They run that trips. Suryavong just break into the outside, and good tackle there. That time coming up. And boy, that's the way you wrap it up. That's the way you're taught to do it. Wrap it up and hold on for dear life, because you know Suryavong can break that and be in the end zone in a few steps.
Sophomore Steve Borgia, number 13.
Borgia with the first touchdown, and now the great defensive play coming up.
So no field goals in the repertoire for the Blue Devils. They're going to go for it on fourth down again, second time this evening. Lucarelli knocked down by Borgia at the goal line, trying to hit Rios.
Borgia's making plays all over the place, Bob. As he catches their touchdown, and then 2 straight plays in a row, one of a tackle and one on a 4th down play, and I'll tell you, that was a touchdown if it slipped by his hand there.
So Dunmore again, though, pinned at the 10-yard line.
And they've been deep in their own territory for most of this game so far, and Old Forge is keeping them there, not letting the big play and letting them out.
I think that goes into the call, though, on 4th down, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You know you're going to have the long field for the other team that, you know what, let's take a shot and see if we can get it. If not, we've been playing well on defense. We can shut them down.
Let's see if Dunmore wants to take a shot. They're going to go to the air. They do. Flag comes in. Surya Vaughn going to be called, trying to hit Borgia. Their feet got mixed up, I think.
I'm going to have to look at that a little bit. You saw one go down. Sometimes when both people lose balance, you know, you have an equal opportunity to go for the ball. But if the defender got in the way of the path to the ball was the reason, then that's why they'd call it probably on the pass interference.
15
So it's not spot
result,
right?
first down.
15-yard penalty.
15 yards from the line of scrimmage, yep.
Here we're going to look at it again. See if
it is. Oh, you just see him falling. You really don't see what happens. It's really the path of the ball. If he had a path to the ball and it was obstructed, it would have been. The flag did come in a little bit late, too. It wasn't like he was falling down, the flag went, and then the ball came by. It was after the ball landed on the ground when the flag came in. And
just to a 15-yard penalty. Both teams are moving downfield. Ball's at the 25 now. So at least it gets Dunmore out of that little red zone type area.
Yeah, a little bit of room to breathe rather than being that deep.
But how about the call, though? I mean, they went for the big play.
A shot.
Bad snap, still live, no whistle.
Wow, they're calling for grounding now. As I think what happened was the center snapped it early. No one else on the offense thought it was going to be snapped.
So just a live ball, no flags down.
Smart play by Darcy to get away from center, not to fumble the ball and then throw it away.
Mike Schuback pleading with the referees on this sideline. There you see Coach Henzis.
Real smart play by Darcy that time, heads up.
So it goes in officially as an incomplete pass. Back to the air they go. They're going to go again. This one, Fangio. Fangio has it, and he's going to glide in for a Dunmore touchdown. A 75-yard pass play.
Wow, what a great play and a call that time. I think they got the entire Blue Devil defense peeking into the backfield that time, Bob, with that fake reverse. They faked the blast, the reverse. We'll see it coming up right here. Drops back, Darcy fakes that little reverse, does a nice job of stepping up and into it. And as he does, Fangio's behind the defender. He was behind him before the defender fell, so that was going to happen no matter what.
This isn't your father's Dunmore Bucks anymore.
That's not the ground game when you throw it for a 75-yard touchdown pass down the middle of the field.
Well, when you have a quarterback like Gavin Darcy, his 19th touchdown of the year, you take advantage of it. And the Bucks have all season long. And Dunmore extends their lead now. Rinaldi on for the extra point. And this one's blocked and it remains within a touchdown. But the Bucks are going to the air.
Big strike right after the penalty, too.
Big strike, and they take a 7-point lead.
Brian J. Calley & Associates is Northeast Pennsylvania's premier full-service law firm. Known for providing superior legal representation, the firm accurately navigates complex legal landscapes with knowledgeable excellence. Brian J. Calley & Associates is a full-service firm with nearly 40 years of experience. Visit them on the web at brianjcalley.com.
So Dunmore takes the lead, and that's one way to counter Surya Vaughn and the special teams. Rinaldi blasted into the end zone.
This game is getting a little piece of everything. We've seen kick returns, we've seen a fumble and a quick score to change the momentum that way. We've seen defenses being so stout, and then all of a sudden big play like that, 75-yarder against, I'll tell you, that's really I'm sure took a little air out of the Blue Devil defense with shutting them down so well, having a penalty and then a long touchdown pass against them.
Well, we know both teams want to come out healthy. But once you get into the game, that competitive spirit starts flowing, right?
It's football. You want to win. You got to play football.
Yeah.
You got to hit people and you got to move the ball.
And there's no lull off between these two teams. Lucarelli to the air, and he's ridden down for a sack of the game by the Bucks. Morocco gets in.
Well, there's Old Forge trying to get a big play to start off with play action. Morocco coming off of that right side around his man. And the big fella's a little happy to be in the backfield meeting Mr. Lucarelli and telling him welcome to the Dunmore Bucks pass rush.
The senior's first sack of the season, an 8-yard loss.
Now Dunmore has to be careful this deep that they don't do something where they're going to turn the ball over and really turn momentum here. A punt is okay because they're back so far now. They've just got to be careful and smart about it.
Back to the toss. They spread Mozaleski out and ride him down for about a yard at best.
Yeah, I look for them to do the same kind of thing, either run the ball like that, or if you're going to throw it, maybe even just a screen pass. Toss into the short side, Mozaleski looking to pick his way outside, and just too many Dunmore Bucks riding him to the outside.
3rd and long now for Coach Schuback's team.
The advantage to telling your quarterback what the play is rather than sending it in, Bob, is you can tell them something to look for. If they're going to throw the ball, hey, make sure if you do this, don't do that. If you see this, remember what we practiced.
They're going to be in the shotgun. We're under 10 on the play clock, and they're going to call timeout. Took a lot of time to figure what was going to happen, and with Schuback.
The receivers on the right side weren't sure of the alignment. They had a double slot to the right side, and the receivers weren't quite sure, and that has something to do maybe with the patterns that were going to be called. We'll see what they come up with after the timeout and the coaching staff gets to go and actually tell them specifically, we're looking for this on this play. It's 3rd and a long distance here, so nothing dumb, guys. See the Old Forge schedule coming up, or the history of the schedule this season. And,
yeah, they're
look at all
Riverside.
those,
Yeah,
the scores really one-sided.
Two toughest games were really back-to-back with Riverside and Lackawanna Trail. Of course, Riverside, their arch enemy down the road, right? So they played their best game of the season, did the Vikings. The Trail, of course, they're playing them next week in the Class A championship. They gave them all they could handle right here. And then, you know, down at PNC Field, they easily take care of Lakeland and, of course, Holy Cross. 0-9 right now. A tough season for the Crusaders. So not much on there for competition anyway, except for those middle 2 games. 2 games, a little bit of competition, but as you said, they pulled it out near the end, started really pounding on them and taking advantage of what they do best defensively and getting that ball in the end zone in the running game. And both coaching staffs can tell these kids this is going to be a tough game. You're going to get hit. This is the best game of the year. But until you're in it, you don't realize it, right, as a player?
And what happens is after the first couple of plays, you're in it. Now you're going. Your sweat is moving, and you're ready to play football.
Draw play to Mozaleski, puts his head down, but he's going to be short of the first, just past the 25. So at least they get some space and can bring the punt team in.
You get the idea that Mr. Mozaleski favors contact, both as a linebacker, and you'll see him take this here. We're going to go a draw play right in the middle. Good blocking as he gets to that second level. And boy, he just drives with the shoulder and a forearm into the defender coming up. How'd you like to be a safety coming up, trying to take him on straight ahead?
Well, you know, Mozaleski's 205, right? McDade, number 8, 135.
Yeah, he went backwards, as you can see on that replay.
Mozaleski does the punting. Getting good special teams work from both teams tonight. Borgia back. And the Blue Devils down it at the 45, and that's where the Bucks will have the ball.
Good luck, Blue Devils football team, cheerleaders, and their parents. Ravello's is located in downtown Old Forge and have been supporting the Blue Devils sports for close to 50 years.
Well, we had some of that Ravello's pizza tonight.
Always
Bread,
good to be
sausage,
in Old Forge having pizza up and down Main Street.
Well, if you don't, it's kind of sacrilegious, isn't it, if you come
Yeah,
down
I think so.
to Old Forge and not have pizza? So Dunmore with their best field position, other than when they got the lateral in the first quarter. Out pass up near the 44-yard line. Shotgun, all kinds of stuff going on there. Flag comes in.
Bunch of movement up front that time, Bob.
Offense. 5-yard penalty.
Looked like the
Still,
snap count really was a little bit off. Maybe he delayed that final count. A couple of white shirts popped up early.
First and 15 for Dunmore.
So Toyota key to the game for the Bucks, and have seen a little bit of it, mostly through the air, but they want to move the football.
And big plays is not normally how you would see it happen, but we talked about it before the game that Dunmore has that weapon now of Darcy's arm in the air game that can mix in with the potent run game.
I'd be shocked if they didn't go back to the ground game now to eat up some clock. Nope, they go to the air. What do I know? Darcy out, double coverage. Fangio wants a flag, he doesn't get it.
Well, he might not get it because that time Suryavong stepped in front. He came from a safety position, stepped in front and tipped the ball. Once the ball's tipped, all bets are off and you can drag that receiver right down. You see it coming out here. Play action, looks to the left, throws that ball right there. He gets a finger on it, and that finger just makes the ball flutter, and he allows his teammate to grab onto the receiver, Fangio, and make sure he doesn't catch the deflection.
Darcy tried to hand it to somebody, and then he's going to take off. He's ridden out of bounds.
Now you see the mix-up, and Darcy's hands are out now like, what'd you do? Yeah, there's a little mix-up in the backfield that time. Gets the shotgun snap, and he thought it was going to be one of those, either a read option or a handoff to the inside. And I tell you what, I like his poise when the mistakes are made, and he has a ball in his hand. He knows what to do to not turn it over or not panic with it. He gets himself out of bounds, so he doesn't lose too many yards.
Clock is going to continue to roll. Carey on the stop, the sophomore, number 19, third and long, facing Dunmore. That's the problem if you have an incomplete pass on first down and then a penalty. Gives you a long field to get that first down. Roll out. Fires it, trying to hit Fangio. Sarivong draped over number 15. Another punt coming for Dunmore.
That was a dart. He tried to stick that in there where there wasn't a lot of room. That time Fangio running that out pattern and on the roll. You'll see Darcy there. Good snap, good blocking there. Lets him step up towards his receiver. And then Suryavong's all over the field, Bob. He's just making play after play, getting his hand in there on a lot of these passes.
So Rios and Suryavong go back about their 30-yard line. Looking for a good return. Let's see if Damiano actually kicks it to them. High kick, but short. Rios takes it, almost lost the ball and gets popped.
Well, that was good coverage that time. Two flying white jerseys come by.
Yeah, Nisco with the big hit, number 4.
Here it comes. It was a short kick this time. He didn't get as much on it. And as Rios gets it, does a nice job to concentrate. Look, when the arm comes in that quickly, you saw him bobble the ball a little bit. No room to go anywhere as Yaniskas makes the cleanup tackle.
So the Blue Devils back out, 7-01. They trail by 7 in this one. Both touchdowns for Dunmore through the air. Back out to Rios. That's just like a run, maybe 2-3 yards.
I think they're just trying to get spread the Dunmore defense out a little bit, Bob, because they've been so tough to get in between the tackles. But throw that little quick screen out to the receiver, and you saw Museleski coming out with a nice block on him, but too many bucks on the side for a big play. A couple positive yards on first down.
Three wide outs to the far side. They get it out there quickly to Soryavong. He has a block, couple blocks. Cuts it back, lost his footing, but he's inside the 50 in a big gain.
That was close to backwards pass again. I don't know if the coaching staff realizes that. That was really close to it. But when you get the ball in that young man's hands, he has a chance to go from anywhere. We'll take it here. It's a shotgun. Right a lateral that time. I guess it was a forward pass, and he just used his speed to get outside. And if he could cut back there, that might have been another big one. We've seen 3 or 4 people lose their footing trying to cut on this grass.
20-yard play. Old Forge in Buck territory. Mozaleski almost lost it, and he's going to lose a yard. Belted in there quick by Yanisco.
Penetration that time by the Buck defensive line. And as soon as Mozaleski got the handoff, he was hit. Boy, that's when fumbles are caused sometimes, and you don't quite get a full grip on it from the running back as you're getting the exchange from the quarterback.
Lucarelli close to getting to the 1,000-yard mark as a freshman, as Mozaleski picks up about 4 to the 45.
Tough running in there for Mozaleski. Bounces off defenders. Not a lot of room. And what happens is he takes on the first guy. Here it is. It's an inside draw that was a big play before. And he just goes from one defender to another, breaking tackles, and then he makes them work for bringing him down, that's for sure.
Billy Donvito on the bottom, number 33. He's returning after being injured. And here comes the blitz. They get it out to Soryavong. He's got space. He's taken down, short, close to a first down. Borgia tripped him up.
Boy, you can tell his quickness, and they want to get the ball to him. Again, really quick out there, quick screen, and he just used his speed to explode. He's been 2 or 3 times now, about a step or 2 and a slip or 2 away from a huge play and possibly a touchdown.
Good job by Borgia coming off the block, though.
Excellent job.
To make the tackle, because if not, I think Soryavong might have been gone.
Yeah, he at least had a sideline and a race with the safety down the sideline, if not.
A lot of weapons on the field tonight for both teams. Plenty of time for the freshman. Soryavong in and out of his hands.
Oh, combination pattern. Soryavong took the post pattern. Ball was thrown on his back shoulder. And it just went through his hands. I think he may have been hearing footsteps this time as he broke through. As you see, good protection. Drum the inside. See how it was behind him a little bit? That's a little bit tougher to do. Not a bad pass. Should have been caught. But even if he caught it there, it would have been a first down. Both teams opening up a little bit more in this second quarter. Getting away from their 3 yards in a cloud of dust offense.
Coach Hens talk about an old style Big 11 football. Well, this is Big 11 2017 version.
New style.
New style. Back out. This is Carey. Carey down the sidelines. Big gain. For Old Fours, they stepped out of bounds. Tyler Carey.
Same play again. You're running that quick screen to your wideouts, and this time, great block that time. Mozaleski down the field. And Carey running as far as he can. Looks like he stepped out somewhere inside the 20-yard line is where they mark him.
So actually just an 8-yard gain after all that.
Yeah, it was tough to see from that angle where we were sitting here, but he could have had much more than that had he stayed in with that one step.
They keep the freshman quarterback in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz by Dunmore. Trying to get to Soryavong, but it's intercepted. This is McDade with running room. The junior going down. The ball's out.
They're calling it down.
So they're calling Greg McDade, the junior, down at the 1-yard line. Intercepted at the 10, and he took it all the way on the doorstep.
That was Soryavong, never looked back. He threw an underthrown pass. He's running a quarter pattern, just threw it. The safety saw where the ball was coming, read the ball, not the receiver. Did a nice job there And you saw him get before taking it a tough hit and get run over. This time he turns the tables on the Blue Devils, picks it off and almost takes it down. Good call there. He did hip and knee hit the ground and then the ball came out.
1st and goal, Dunmore trying to extend that lead after the interception from McDade. Back to the big running back. He powers in. No signal yet. And they're going to say he's short.
That was an interesting little twist at the beginning, the way they shifted there, where everybody did a little tippy toe to the left. Tried to get a little unbalanced advantage on the left side. And just coming off power football that time. And a good penetration, yeah, good call too. He was down. Not that time. Darcy just follows his center right up the gut, Bob, for a quarterback sneak.
Old Forge was trying to call a timeout. They didn't get it. They quickly snap it, and it's a touchdown. Dunmore Bucks, and they extend their lead.
Yeah, it was a quick count. As Darcy comes out and able to get it in from very short yardage.
So we talked about mistakes inside the 30-yard line. Old Forge has had 2 of them. Dunmore has converted both into touchdowns.
Yeah, taking advantage of their opportunities.
Rinaldi's kick is up and through. So a big swing for the Bucks. They put up 13 straight after Old Forge put up their touchdown. And now they've extended their lead 20-6. Here's what the Bucks have faced this season. Toughest game of the year is the opener. A full West Scranton team was coming in pretty good. They had some talent in there. And Dunmore scraped out with a 10-point win, but then domination.
Goose eggs for the last 6 weeks. They haven't been scored on until tonight since the 3rd week of the season. And showing a little bit why tonight as only 6 points against them, even though Old Forge has been deep in their territory a few times, only come up with 1 touchdown. Bob, I think on that pass, had that pass had a little bit more air to the corner, it would have been a touchdown on it. That was Lucarelli's experience, maybe not knowing to see that and throw it over the corner's head. Suryavan would have been open had he thrown it deeper to the corner of the end zone.
Both times the bad plays have come from the quarterback. Not to put it on the freshman, but the first one he threw behind the line of scrimmage. And then that one, he obviously didn't see the safety in there.
Yeah, he was trying to rush it to get it into his man rather than letting it develop and put some air under it. But the corner was coming up on that side.
But again, the division title's on the line. Lucarelli will learn from this.
Oh, absolutely.
This is, look at the film. This is what you want to see. You're going to face stiff competition if you head into states. Big return. Suryavan.
He wanted to run it out.
Nope. Once you catch it in the end zone now, I think it's an automatic touchback in high school.
He's pleading his case to the referee. Come on, I know I can make some yards here.
Different rule. Here's the interception again. John, break it down as the quarterback.
Right, as he's looking, he looks to the left the whole way. He threw it, and you see that quick delivery. If he put some more arc on it up over the top of the corner, it was a nice pattern it was run. He would be in between the safety and the corner. It would have been open. He tried to fit it into a little bit of a seam instead of putting the ball over the top. And that was the mistake that was made. And just a nice job at a return there.
McDade's second interception leads to the Dunmore touchdown. Now Old Forge with 3:30 left in this half. Would like to get some points up. Dunmore gets the ball to begin the 3rd quarter. They've proven they can move the ball.
They got to get momentum back now. Got to start moving the chains a little bit.
They want to do with this guy, but Nisco's right there. Number 4 beats number 4 and a loss of, let's say, 4.
Yeah, I'll tell you, getting in these second and long situations. And again, one of the keys for Old Forge was winning first downs. And right now, the momentum has switched back to Dunmore in the last half of this quarter.
Triple fours on that.
Oh, full?
4 for 4. Play that tomorrow, lottery.
I'd like to see them do some kind of a screen where they let Dunmore's pass rush come in and maybe a middle screen or something to the back to Mozaleski if they have something like that, and let that pass rush be quelled a little bit.
Give it to the fullback. He's got a little running room, little out of the Dunmore playbook. Big gain, gets that back and more. First down, Old Forge up near the 35-yard line.
Well, see, they were running those plays with Mozeleski so deep. This time the fullback's up inside, follows the guard pulling around. Big hole that time, and I think Dunmore was keying a little bit too much on Mozeleski. Went right by him that time.
Colin Holtzman, 5'6" freshman with a big gain. Now, Old Forge getting some of that momentum back. Play action. Over the middle. Nice catch in there by Brett Wargo, the junior. Pickup of 9.
Bob, think about that freshman that just had that pass intercepted that led to the score, and watch him come out of here and throw this ball. He has rush in his face and throws a dart off balance to hit his man for a big pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Well, when Aaron talked to his father, that's what he talked about. He doesn't have much emotion, probably forgets about the last play. Nothing you can do about it, right?
If you're a quarterback or a cornerback, you have to have short memories because bad things are going to happen. You got to pick it up the next play as though it didn't happen.
Under 2 to play here in the first half. To the air. Over the middle, kind of the same play, and almost picked off again by McDade.
Yeah, see, if he had hung that one up a little bit, as you saw, the angle of his pass. He's almost three-quarter arming him and trying to zip it in there in between people. And you'll see it here, getting the shotgun, good snaps, stepping into it nicely, but right there, had he thrown that one up over the top, give his receiver a chance to run under it.
Sure, the coaches upstairs might tell him that at halftime.
And it seems like the safeties now in the secondary for Dunmore is really coming, as soon as the ball is thrown, they're coming forward knowing he's trying to zip it into holes, and they're kind of letting down their guard. I think it could be a big play should he have something and let the ball go deep.
Back to the ground they go. Now, much of anything for Mozeleski. Nick Shoemaker on the tackle.
Looks like he'll have a first down. He's close to the line there.
So the clock will stop momentarily with that. I believe Old Forge just has 1 timeout left.
They did call at least 1 before.
So the game we expected. It's been hard hitting. There's been some mistakes on both sides, which you expect, and some big plays.
That was the thing, the big plays, and I think the turnovers, 2 turnovers for Dunmore's favor is really the difference.
Here comes the blitz. Lucarelli faces it, but he whips it out, and it's caught. Nice catch for about a 9-yard gain. Out there is Chris Matsko, the junior.
Nice poise that time as Lucarelli gets the rush in his face, steps up, and just kind of flips that ball. That was a David.
Yeah, the one referee's going to give him 2 more yards. I think he caught it 2 yards down.
Yeah, I think he did too. I think he was, as soon as he caught it, he was pushed back.
So the clock stopped with 1:08. This gives Old Forge time now. If you're Dunmore, you're not happy.
Right.
They can call the play set up, and as soon as the clock rolls,
they're going to move it forward.
Yeah, you can snap the ball.
It's a good call.
There, it's a 9-yard gain. That's what I called. Nobody's listening.
That's right. Turn the speaker on here, Bob.
Out, and it's, I think they hit the ground first.
Yeah,
Incomplete. Clock stops.
Now they've thrown so many of those. At what point do they pump it and go deep on it and have the second receiver that's there to block just take off behind the secondary? That's coming.
Yeah, what more can you say about Jack Hens, you saw right there? 51st season, 430 wins. That's second all-time in the state behind George Curry.
It's been around a little while.
A long time, 81 young years. Something we learned over the summer about Coach loves to guard it. I asked him how the other night how it was. He said it's good, but you know he put it away for the season. Mozeleski short of the first down, clock will roll. Nice tackle by Shoemaker to keep Mozeleski in bounds. 4th down on the way.
We'll see what Old Forge chooses to do.
Clock should be rolling. 4th down, they're going to go for it.
Call a timeout now?
Now he did, because I think Coach Schubeck thought he had a timeout, or had the first down, excuse me. It's hard to tell on a field like this, especially these high school fields. You know it. There's a bit that crown. You can't see the other side of the field.
And then when it's so tight, this is one of the tightest fields at Old Forge for the viewers there that don't understand. The fence where the fans are is about 15 feet from the sideline. There's not a lot of room on the sideline there. And when the fans get loud, you're in the ears of somebody on the sideline when the coach is trying to describe something. It's very close, kind of on top of you feel for this this type of a game. And with this many people here, it really feels like the crowd's even bigger because you're so close to the action.
Yeah, we do.
Well, the fans have been entertained here today with some big plays from Dunmore. Old Forge breaks that scoreless streak by the Dunmore defense in the first quarter, but that's the only touchdown they've been able to put up.
But they have moved the ball a little bit, so from both of these teams, neither one is going to lay down and say that's it and give up. They're going to be coming back planning at halftime. How can we come back and pull this victory out?
This is the third time in the first half Old Forge will go for it on 4th down.
Well, they're going to have 2 plays called just because of the time.
First goal, pick up the first down. And they do on the quarterback sneak. Oh, I don't know. I thought he had it, and now I think they're going to be short.
He's very close to the line. I can't tell if
I thought his initial push put him past the
They're
marker.
going to measure this one. Well, they got it to the line. It's going to be a first down. If the ball's touching the line, it's going to be a first down.
Yep, I would agree.
Yeah, because we're looking straight across, and we see on the 40, just before the 45, it's a couple inches before it. They'll measure it, but it'll be a first down by a length of a football.
Oh, he's short by a credit card.
Wow.
Dunmore holds on 4th down.
Well, the measurement of the field must not be equal in Old Forge. As you see where the first down took, it was about a foot from the line. They touched the line, and it's still not a first down. That was, I've never seen that before.
Not at all.
When the chain doesn't touch the line where you start the series at, then the chain shouldn't touch the line at the next 10 yards down, and it did.
So, let's see. Old Forge moved it about 35 yards. Didn't get the first. Dunmore gets the ball.
Shotgun here, Bob. Looks like they're going to try to put another score on the board.
They're going to get a little inside to Borgia. Borgia out into the open. Steve Borgia ripped down by Suryavong inside the 10.
Borgia showing his speed on that quick screen to the wide side of the field. Came back to the short side, had a row of blockers. Snap, quick screen, safe pass. Borgia picks up a low pass and just waits for his blockers and just explodes across. Nice blocking by the Bucks down there. Suryavong, the only man that could have caught him, and he did, down inside the 10. Looks like he's about the 6-yard line.
We talked about yards after the catch. How about 50 on that? Darcy faking it. Back screen to Damiano. Another touchdown for the Bucks.
Great play call that time as he get the Old Forge defense flowing to the side of the roll. And then throw back against it. Easily walked in the end zone after that little reverse screen pass there.
Bobby, this is worse than us. Blue Devils suck.
You're rolling right here. That whole Old Forge Blue Devil defense. There's only 2 guys coming over here on this side of the field. And an easy, easy touchdown. Nice play call there. I guess Coach Hen just still got it for the play call at the right time, huh, Bob?
Yeah, Coach Mills does the play calling. And boy, 2 plays, 55 yards, and the Bucks are starting to put it on the Blue Devils now. It's 27-6.
Well, big plays by that Buck offense, and boy, I said that I didn't know it was going to score that quickly. Yeah. I figured they were going to take a few plays and try to get down there, maybe throw it in the end zone on the last one. But when you're more than midfield away and can do it in 2 plays, that's pretty efficient.
Coming up in about 15 seconds, the Toyota halftime news update. And also Aaron Dugan will talk about the 10th annual Coaches versus Cancer tip-off breakfast coming up November 5th, just over a week. And the guest speaker this year, Princeton men's basketball head coach Mitch Henderson. So stay tuned for that. That's coming up at halftime. I will tell you, if you go to the breakfast, great food.
Did you
great
check it out, Bob?
Every year, well, I've been there for 9 years, the last 9
There you
years. Seen some great speakers. Coach Henderson is a great young coach from Princeton. And I will tell you that there will be an unveiling of the guest speaker who will be at the May Gala. And it's big time, I will tell you that.
Well, that's great.
So if you want to hear about who's coming to the gala, come to the breakfast. November 5th, Aaron Dugan, more on that at halftime. But how about here? Old Forge, you talked about move the ball, move the ball. Now it's a sense, we're down 27-6.
Yeah,
we keep moving the ball, but nothing's happening. They beat themselves on a couple plays and a couple huge pass plays from the Bucks.
A couple turnovers and a couple big plays have given all the momentum now to Dunmore. Goes to show you a little bit why Dunmore had 6 shutouts in a row and are only allowing 3.5 points a game for the whole season. We thought that when Old Forge took it back on that second series, okay, you know what, they're going to be able to put a couple on here and it's going to be a little bit higher scoring than we thought, but not to be so far.
Wisely, Old Forge is going to take a knee and take this one into the half. So 27 points put up on the board for the Dunmore Bucks as they try to remain without a loss this season, trying to take home the Lackawanna Football Conference Division III championship.
Like you said, though, Bob, it was an exciting game, and right at the end that happened. But right up until that last series, it was kind of a back-and-forth momentum shifting, and we're going to see what the adjustments are made.
Aaron Dugan with Coach Henzis.
Coach, some big turnovers and some huge pass plays. You got to be happy with all facets of that first half.
Well, we got to clean up some mistakes that we've made. You know, our kids are playing extremely well. They got a fine football team. Number 4 is an excellent runner, and Sovian, he's got great speed. So we got our hands full the second half.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You bet. Have a good one.
So, coming up at the half, we'll hear from Aaron Dugan. John and I then will be back with some halftime stats and highlights. It's Dunmore 27, Old Forge 6.
You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.
We're here at Scranton Prep with Andrew Kettle, the boys basketball coach and the local director of Coaches vs. Cancer. Andrew, coming up on 10 years of Coaches vs. Cancer. Can you believe that?
No, it goes fast, doesn't it? Yeah. We're excited about our 10th anniversary and all of that we've been able to do here in our community for Coaches vs. Cancer over the past 9 years, going into our 10th year.
How much have you seen it grow year by year?
Well, it's been, you know, surreal to watch. We started out 10 years ago with 1 game and raised about $1,200, and in May we hit the $1.5 million mark. So, you know, to be able to say that and to be able to perform that with the support we've had from all the schools, community members, sponsors, and everyone who's against this terrible disease, it's great to see, and we're all proud of what we've done here in Northeast Pennsylvania.
And when you talk about that much money, I mean, this is not big Division I schools. This is local high schools coming together. What does it mean to have that amount from this area?
Well, it just tells you what kind of people we have in our area. And unfortunately, it tells you that we've all been touched by this disease. It's a grassroots effort that we started 10 years ago, and it continues to be a grassroots effort. Our sponsors are a huge part of being able to hit that amount of money because the schools and the communities can only raise so much. But to be able to get a bunch of sponsors behind it and to make it a full year campaign is what really has helped us reach that kind of money.
Would you say that this area is definitely put on the map now with the national organization?
This year we're being featured in a quarterly magazine from the National Association of Basketball Coaches about all we've done over the past 10 years. So to be able to get that recognition nationally is a feather in our cap.
And as always, we'll be starting things off this year's campaign with the tip-off breakfast. Tell us about that.
So Sunday, November 5th, will be our 10th annual Coaches vs. Cancer tip-off breakfast here at Scranton Prep at 9 a.m. And this year's featured speaker is Princeton men's basketball coach Mitch Henderson. So we're really excited to have Coach Henderson. He's part of the National Coaches versus Cancer Committee, and hopefully we can start the year off with a great breakfast on Sunday, November 5th. Tickets are available by emailing or calling the American Cancer Society in Taylor, or we will also have them available at the door. You can also contact your coaches or your school district, and I'm sure they can point you in the right direction.
And always a very poignant moment in the breakfast is when survivors speak to the crowd. What does it mean to them and also the people in attendance?
Well, I think it just reinforces the fact that no matter how many years we're doing this and how much money we raise, until we find a cure for this disease nationally, breakfasts, t-shirt sales, dances, games, any kind of events that you can go to, not only to support the American Cancer Society, but the many cancer foundations and nonprofits there are out there. Research and helping people day to day pay bills, doing many things like that is what really it comes down to. And to have a cancer survivor or a caregiver get up and tell their story is what reminds all of us why we're doing this.
Absolutely. So for high school students watching the campaign, it's coming up. It'll be here before you know it. What's the message to the high school kids this year to get them rallied once again?
Well, I think after 9 years of doing this and going into our 10th, we want to make sure that we have fun with it. And I think that's what the student athletes, the student clubs, the cheerleaders, the families, the communities bring to it. They bring a lot of fun and energy, and in order to continue to be successful, we need to do that. So we hope that everyone can get behind us and support us, have some fun with this, circle it on your schedule when Coaches versus Cancer game is, and just enjoy the part of the game, but understand why we're here and why we're doing this.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
Back at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Old Forge at the half, Dunmore leads by 22 points. I can't add. 21 points.
21, yep.
3-touchdown lead. We got some coaches going upstairs, and we'll let them go by, and then John and I will get back into the booth. John in 27-6, 20 unanswered put up by Dunmore. Some big plays there.
Turnovers, big plays in the passing game that we talked about before the game and the pregame, that Dunmore balanced attack now, shown it so far in the second quarter.
Let's take a look at some first half highlights, and then we'll show you the stats. After a lateral fumble, which Dunmore recovered, big pass, Borgia in the end zone.
Borgia gets behind the linebacker for an easy toss and in for the first score, really get the momentum up. Old Forge coming right back here as Lucarelli hits Suryavong, who just takes it inside, beat the receiver to the outside. Another easy score. Dunmore, this time they fooled the Old Forge Blue Devils and got behind them. And a long pass by Darcy. That was one of his 3 touchdown passes in the first half. And that really turned the momentum and the field position as they try to pound it in here. A little bit short. Come right back with the throwback screen pass to try to get the play call, get Old Forge moving one way, dump it back over, and as you'll see, pretty easy to get in the end zone when the defenders aren't there.
And that came after a long, and I mean long, interception by Greg McDade that set up Dunmore inside the 5-yard line. John, you have some stats, and I think a couple things are going to stand out from you.
Absolutely. We talked about Darcy's passing. First half, 5 for 11, 159 yards, including the 3 touchdown passes. Dunmore only has 2 yards rushing in the first half. Lucarelli, the freshman on the other side, 11 of 16 with 93-yard passing, but the big interception that turned it over to let Dunmore add that last bit of momentum and another touchdown on the board. For the Blue Devils, receiving Tommy
Suryavong.
Thank you. Suryavong, I was so good until now. Suryavong showing his explosiveness first on the kickoff return that got them to good field position, and he also had 6 catches and a TD reception was included in there. Mozaleski, the workhorse that we talked about for the Blue Devils, 20 carries in the first half for 52 yards rushing.
He came into this game with 5 straight 200-yard games. So the thing that stands out to me, Dunmore, 18 plays, 161 yards, just 4 first downs. Old Forge, though, almost triple that, 42 plays, 129 yards, 8 first downs, but 2 turnovers.
Dunmore far more opportunistic when they got the opportunity, Bob, that they said, okay, our running game isn't working. We're going to throw it and give it to Garvin Darcy's hands and let him show us what he can do. And we talked about it before the game, that his senior leadership and his arm are the difference right now and taking advantage of those turnovers and putting the ball in the end zone for the Bucs.
Darcy, in fact, nearing the 1,000-yard mark on the season through the air. So your coach Schuback, you know you have a game next week. What do you want to see from the second half?
Well, you just got to take it one series at a time and say, we got to get the ball into the end zone. We did it once. We came up short, even deep in their territory a few times. Got to finish. Finish drives, I think, is the key for Old Forge in the second half. And the other thing is they played so well shutting down the run, but those big plays, and that's where most of that 159 yards of Darcy's passing attack was, in 2 big plays.
So you're down 21. Your coach Schuback, when do you shut it down? When do you say enough's enough? I don't want to get anybody hurt. We did our best. We're down in this game. Third quarter, midway through the third.
I think you're going to have to see how the first couple series go. A lot of times in the games and in any level of football, that third quarter coming out, what adjustments were made and what kind of confidence and momentum can you have coming into the second half? If Old Forge is able to stop the Bucs in the first series, get the ball back and take it down for a score, hey, guess what? Your momentum and confidence is riding high. You want to go. If something happens, that bad things happen and you give up another touchdown or 2 in the third quarter, then you kind of start saying, you know what? Let's be safe. Let's play it for next week, and let's make sure that nobody, nothing happens here that's going to jeopardize our playoff game that's coming up next Saturday.
Well, not even that. Both these teams are considered, they're ranked in the state, so they have bigger aspirations. You know, they want to win districts, they get that. Then you worry about states. I mean, Old Forge has a good enough team; they could make a run. Dunmore has a good enough team; they could make a run. Maybe, you know, some saying to the Eastern Final to meet Southern Columbia, but I mean, they're good enough. But you have to get past this game first.
It's big picture for both teams. It's they're willing to lose the battle to win the war.
That's right. So the kickoff taken from the 15. Nice hit put out on there by Carey as McDade brings it up and the offense back on.
McDade showing a little that speed he had on the interception return with a good kick return. And again, some of the better field position that the Bucs have had so far tonight, Bob.
Our own Aaron Dugan had a chance to talk to Coach Mike Schuback. And Aaron, what did he have to say about the first half?
Well, Bob, I talked to him a little bit about his team's capability for those big plays. I said, you showed that you have that capability, so, you know, what has to change? You know, what do you have to do to change that momentum? He said they have to stop Dunmore's big plays before they can even begin to do anything. He said Dunmore's a very good football team, and they capitalized on their mistakes. And he said, hey, that's why they're 9-0. He said, we have to make some magic of our own now.
Thank you, Aaron. And right to the pass game they go. Just when you think Dunmore's going to go to that patented running game, they have Damiano back there, the big back, they're going to stay with what's worked.
Exactly. I was just going to say that they take what's worked right there. And that time, Noah O'Malley, a 6'2", 200-pound senior, showing all of his 6 2 inches. He went up and got that high pass from Darcy.
Back into the eye they go. Some movement. Flag comes in.
Sometimes a team like Old Forge is going to need a little help from a
5-yard
penalty
penalty
here or a ball bouncing
down
the right way there to get back into this ball game.
Mike Serra, our referee tonight.
2nd and 1 is my most favorite situation of down and distance, because you can do anything and it doesn't matter just so you don't go backwards. And guess what happened to Dunmore in that play? Penalty, backed him up.
So Darcy comes over to Coach Mills. He comes back in. His biggest game this year was against Riverside, 6 of 8, 163 yards and 4 touchdowns. And as John said,
he's close.
He's close to topping that here tonight. He may be back. I think he's past the yardage mark. He has thrown 2 touchdowns. Suryavong on the tackle. Lexus Suryavong. 3rd and long facing the Bucs.
Blue Devils continue to shut down that potent Buck running attack, and it's the passing game that the defense of the Old Forge Blue Devils need work on right now.
Yeah, Fangio and Borgia have shown good speed on the outside.
Darcy's had good time to throw, too.
That experienced offensive line, everyone back from a year ago. 5 wideouts. Pressure put on. Darcy either fell or he slipped. I mean, or he went down on his own.
That was a combo fall slide.
Yeah.
He was ready to slide, I think, and lost the footing as he was attempting to set up the slide.
Well, Mozaleski was right there to put on the hit.
Yeah. Yeah, when you see Mozaleski bearing in on you, I'd fall down like that too. Smart move.
So another punt from Damiano coming up, and this has been a weapon for Old Forge.
And now getting the ball back. You know, it's a 3 and out here. Just what Old Forge wanted.
This one low and returnable. Soryavong was 32. Gets a block. Dunmore catches up, but he's inside Buck territory at the 45.
Old Forge Pharmacy supports the Old Forge football team. Voted the best pharmacy in the Tri-Borough Reader's Choice Awards 2 years in a row. We offer free delivery, free management of all your pill boxes, and all prescription insurance plans are accepted. Good luck to the Blue Devils from Old Forge Pharmacy.
So Old Forge has it at the Buck 44, down by 21. They have moved the ball, but they only have that one touchdown to show for it.
Great field position, Bob. Now they have to finish this drive and get it in the end zone.
The fullback gets it, and up is the freshman, Holtzman, for a gain of 7.
Well, we've seen Holtzman have a big play in the first half like that. And what that'll do to the Dunmore defense is keep him honest to not just be keying on Mozaleski as he comes inside, follows the guard's block, and some tough running in there by Holtzman, the freshman, pulling some people along with him. I think he's taking lessons from Mozaleski on how to run tough.
Samitz with a nice block. Right side this time. That time the Buck defense read that one.
It was Morocco who did a nice job of getting off his block and coming in from behind, backside, and shutting it down.
Give it to Mozaleski, and the Dunmore defense is there to greet him. 4th down on the way.
Lost the yards a little bit there too. You know, Bob, throughout this game so far, Mozaleski in the I formation so deep, he has not had success between the tackles. The only thing he's done out of the I is the toss plays, getting on the outside and made some plays. Right now, if I'm Coach Schubeck, I'm going to go and say, we're going to toss it out of the I, or we're going to run some other plays, maybe the fullback out of that same formation.
The linebacker, Tyler Overholtz, right in there to make the initial contact. So another 4th down that Old Forge is going to go for it. Play action. Lucarelli down to the side. No flag,
call.
Trying to hit Rios. And the Old Forge faithful on this side wanted a flag.
There was some contact down there. We'll have to take a look at that, Bob. Rios trying to get inside the defender. Good play action that time. Lucarelli feeling pressure and getting it away. And you only saw the end of it. That right hand, we couldn't see it on that. The right hand might have been on his shoulder pad as the defender jumped over the top.
McDade on the coverage, number 8.
McDade's having a good game both ways here with his return game and also with some defensive play.
Dunmore holds again. Back come the Bucks back on. No running room for Damiano.
Well, Damiano has been their workhorse running the ball, but not a lot of successes. The Old Forge Blue Devils are really shutting down that running game. We talked about it at halftime, and continues into the second half. They're just getting nowhere between the tackles.
Brett Wargo on the stop. That's a little bit surprising because that is their bread and butter. That's what they come up running the ball. I mean, I know you want to mix it and have a little balance, but you want the balance to be more even.
And that's what you think offensive linemen would like to say, hey, let's run the ball a little more. They kind of get off on going and pounding on people.
They're going to go to the air. It might be a planned quarterback sneak.
Yeah, it was. That was, Bob. And what happened, the reason for that is because when he ran the play action, he put the ball, as you're going to see here, runs, ball goes immediately tucked away. He did not look upfield at all. He looked and saw what the edge was, cut it back inside. They were trying to fool and get an open boot like that time. Safe play, though. A quarterback keeping the ball, knowing he's having it. Guess what? Worst could happen is he just gets tackled there and you're not giving up the ball or throwing it into a crowd. Big play for the Old Forge defense.
Quick out of the tight end O'Malley in his hands. He dropped it. Wargo there. And Dunmore will bring out Damiano again to punt.
Fortunate for Old Forge that time, as O'Malley would have had about the first down at the place where he had the ball go off his hand. Again, running out of out pattern, you see him there. Good coverage, but he was beyond the first down marker, so O'Malley does drop that one and forces Dunmore to punt again.
Old Forge now going to bring Suryavong in. They're going to go for the block. They go and they don't get close. Rios makes the fair catch at the 22. A late flag back near the kicker. This is not after the kick. This might be unsportsmanlike. Couple guys going at it.
That's
towards the end.
Yeah, after the play. What just happened, I've never seen. The rusher ran into the punter and bounced off him, Bob, and there was no call.
Personal foul. I don't know what offense. 15 yards, first down.
As long as you don't curse anything.
So it's a personal foul after the play. Old Forge will retain possession, but they'll have to back them up.
Kind of a silly penalty, too. Far away from the play, no bearing on it. And it was some kind of a late altercation.
Well, another student section, and Aaron Dugan has found it. And Aaron, I'm not sure what they're spelling there.
What do you guys spelled out here?
She doesn't.
Devils, Bob.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Bob. Bob couldn't read it. So talk to me a little bit about this season, how much fun you guys have had cheering on your team.
So I think it's been a great year for the Devils this year. You know, we're undefeated so far. We're going up against the undefeated Dunmore Bucks team. You know, our star prospects, Tommy Sorivong, Brendan Mose, Dante Ruccarelli, King Rose. We're all doing real good here. We're doing real good right now. Up against the Dunmore Bucks, good score. I think we can come back.
You think you can come back?
Yeah.
Star prospects, I love this. It's like we're talking about the NFL here. Talk to me about how much fun you've had with your group here. I know that you're a senior this year, so what's it like for you?
It's been a great experience. We've been winning. Last year we didn't win. It's always better when you win, and especially when you blow teams out by like 30 every game. Our team's been phenomenal this year. I hope we keep it rolling into the playoffs, and I think we could come back this game.
Last question, are you cold?
Nah, I'm used to it.
You're used to it?
Yeah.
You guys do this all season?
Yeah.
Man.
Even next week and the week after that.
The week after that, and the week after that.
Yeah.
All right, they got some high hopes for this season. Let's go back to you, Bob.
I just want to know why they have green and orange on. Is that something with a pumpkin, maybe?
Maybe it's Halloween.
Halloweenish, maybe, and not blue and gold. No gain on the first play. Devils pinned back.
It's a new tailback in there.
Yeah, new tailback is Anastasi, the sophomore, was the quarterback last year, number 12. Well, saw him a little bit this season. 16 carries, 109 yards. He's a sophomore.
We may be getting an answer right now, Bob, about the substitutions this early in the game from Coach Schubeck.
Again, stay healthy was the key. You're down 21 midway through, a little bit later in the third. Flag down on the far side.
Right to snap. Defense. 5 yards.
That's going to help Old Forge at least get to the first down marker.
Yeah, a little bit better situation at third, and it looks like about 3 or 4 there.
But you say you're going to go to your bench, but really, you know, how many players does Old Forge actually have? Like 27 to 30?
There's not a lot of bench.
No.
What happens is if you do have a youngster in a backup position that didn't see a lot of time, you're looking at the opportunity to get him in. Within reason, you don't want to have anything bad, but give him a little bit of experience here and save your hits on some of your star players going into a playoff.
And I would say seeing Old Forge through the years, this is conservative play calling at this point. You're not showing Lackawanna Trail anything they haven't seen on film. Now you're going to get some players a little bit of time. Anastasi caught by Shoemaker. Let's see, he was close to the first down.
A little bit short, it looks like. Now, will they go for a 4th down in their own territory inside their own 20?
They will not.
They'll probably just punt that ball away and try to play defense. That's a play. That was Shoemaker making a nice play that time, coming in. And the big boy can run.
Mazaleski. Nice high kick. It's short. Late fair catch called for by McDade. Dunmore will have it inside Blue Devil territory at the 47-yard line, up 27-6.
For over 20 years, Sweeper Central has been your home for the complete line of household and commercial floor care products. And we are the only independent Hoover commercial and retail dealer in Northeast Pennsylvania. Call John Gregory or visit us in Dunmore.
This may be the second best field position the Bucks have started out with tonight. They go to the ground to Damiano. He's going to plow through yard gain, but now I think if you're Dunmore, you just want to work the clock down.
Exactly. The clock is your friend right now, and punting doesn't really matter as long as you're just killing the clock for 3 plays in a row. You may try to pass the ball to get the chain moved or 1st down, but probably something safe. And probably nothing crazy. Like you said, they're not going to show anything, and they don't have any need to get creative at this stage of the game. 2:56 and counting in the 3rd quarter here.
Play action. Darcy going long, and he's got Borgia again. Up to the 15, and now Borgia's hurt.
Oh, nice pass.
He's
that
calling
time.
out the trainer immediately. Oh boy, I hope he's not seriously injured. Did he come down on his foot?
Well, we'll see. Play action, stop back, plenty of time. Boys running a post pattern, does a really nice job at turning around. The ball was put behind him.
Maybe got his foot stepped on.
I'm not sure because it
cramp.
It looked like a cramp. If they're lifting his leg up out there,
that's good.
That's a sign of a cramp.
That is. That's good news.
Yep. Cramps are always better than injuries. Although when it's cramping up, you don't feel that way.
We'll take a quick timeout. 2:45 left in the 3rd quarter. We come back. Damiano's in the end zone. We'll have to look at the replay.
Yeah, we will. We saw that one look pretty easy. That was the first time they've had a really successful play in between the tackles. As you see here, from almost 20 yards out, he just took the pitch, cut it up inside, really only touched by one person. And I'll tell you what, I think right now, Dunmore's offensive line is taking its toll on the Old Forge defensive line.
Looked like Borgia had a cramp. He kind of walked off the field on his own
they grabbed
accord,
his leg
so,
to pull it. When,
yeah.
when you grab a leg like that, usually that's the case. Is, you know, they're trying to stretch something out.
In fact, he's on for the extra point. He'll do the holding. Must be feeling okay. Rinaldi's kick is up and through. So 2 plays, they get 50 yards on that. They go 53 yards in all, John. It didn't take long, and they extend their lead now to 28.
It was a play action, Bobby, nothing creative. What happened was they took a shot deep, saying, you know what, what's the worst thing that could have happened if he let it go like that? It could have been intercepted. It's like a punt. So, you know, they got a touchdown out of it and increased their lead, and they're padding now, and now they're really going to look to grind that clock as we get close to the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yep, look at time now to take a look at some district standings as they go in. Dunmore, the overwhelming favorite in 2A, will play Lakeland. That was last year's championship, in fact. Carbondale will take on Mid-Valley. Where that game's played depends on what happens tonight. Carbondale shutting out Riverside tonight. And check on Mid-Valley, losing right now at the half to Lakeland. So Dunmore definitely the overwhelming favorite. They've overwhelmed all those teams in their own division.
And starting to overwhelm Old Forge here tonight.
And you can see why.
Yep. They just stick with it, and I think that the versatility to be able to go to the air attack when the ground game wasn't running to get all these big plays It shows that they can do it and they can rely on it.
You see Mazaleski with his helmet off, coming over to the sidelines. That may be it for the senior in this game. We'll see if he comes back out on defense. Rinaldi with a good leg. Sends it down to Carey from his 5.
Nice job that time by Carey to pick it up and get some positive yards back. Changing direction, picking the ball up and going back into the fire.
Again, next week, Old Forge takes on Lackawanna Trail right here for the District 2 Single A Championship. Lackawanna Trail having no problem tonight with Montrose, who has only one win, 48-0, a final score already.
One of Lackawanna Trail's losses coming to Old Forge in that fairly close game.
And their other loss coming to Dunmore.
Right.
So Lucarelli continues to be the quarterback. He'll go to the air. Little fly pattern out to Rios. They got him, and if he stayed on his feet, he would have had a lot more, but he's up to the 45.
Nice catch that time, but as I said, if he stayed on his feet, it would have been one man to beat for a touchdown. And as it was, a big positive play that time. A good pass as Rios gets behind the corner there, picks the pass up and loses his balance coming down.
20-yard gain up to about the 45s.
That time Luke Riley had good time to throw too, Bob. No pressure on him.
Pressure put on over the head of Rios, but he had him. He was behind the Dunmore secondary.
That was not a bad pass. Rios actually turned sideways a little bit, and I think if he kept running through that one, he might have had a better shot at getting a hand on it. He's coming back with his, looks like he got a stinger, landed on his arm. Kind of funky there.
Second down on the way. Trying to get it to Levi Kania. He's taken down quickly by Overholtz, and we have a shaken up Buck.
Yeah, I'm looking at that as he comes inside. Yeah, Overholtz, nice job. They could not get any kind of opening in there that they did on the other fullback plays earlier, Bob. That was because of the penetration. Good penetration. I think they're now being honest and looking for the fullback after being burned a few times by it in the middle.
That's Nick Shoemaker right in the middle of that defense, a senior. Looking at his leg is Dr. Henzis.
Yeah, that doesn't appear to be a cramp.
Nope. Again, now let's see how Dunmore plays it out. They're going to shuffle in some of their backups as well with a big lead.
He's off on his own power, which is always a good sign. Staying healthy, which is both teams' priority tonight.
Draw to Anastasi, and he's whipped down quickly.
Looked like it was going to be a bigger
on the stop.
Bob, it looks like it was going to be a bigger play than did happen. As he first got it, had some room there. Nice opening, but it closed quickly. And again, Dunmore closes that hole so quickly with their pursuit from the outside and from the secondary coming up to shut it down. When it looks like it could be a big play, they turn it into not such a big play.
So the punt team comes on for the Blue Devils. This is returnable from McDade from his 29. He's tripped up. Looked like Carey, Tyler Carey, number 19, who made the play. The Bucks come back on. We're under a minute here to play in the third quarter. And kind of Dunmore has put their will on Old Forge.
Yeah, they've taken over dominating right now, and as evidenced by the last rush that they had when they had that 20-yard run and barely touched, going just inside the tackle.
Both teams came in averaging near 40 points, and Old Forge, they moved the ball in the first half, but they just couldn't get any more scores than just that one touchdown. In fact, they had 2 interceptions. As the fullback Harity makes a nice gain of about 6.
You know, right now you just got to make sure you just play sound football and finish the game out on both sides of the ball. I'm sure that the Dunmore backups are itching to get in the ball game to help them with this undefeated season and say, I was in there on the last part of the game to help with that perfect record.
Dunmore made a nice little run last year before losing to Ligonier Valley. The quarterfinals, they won their first playoff game as Damiano is just powering through. Picks up a first down.
Perfect example, Damiano that time. He hadn't done that yet in the game, and that's his touchdown carry in this one. Damiano now able to push the pile forward where that wasn't there early in the game. He's getting it, following that counter play, following his blockers, and just, as he gets hit, just pushes and drags people. He's a big boy. A lot of power in those legs.
And the power from the Dunmore Bucks has them leading over Old Forge after 3 now. The score 34-6. Back at Veterans Memorial Stadium in Old Forge, Lackawanna County. Bob Ide, former Scranton Eagles quarterback John Kennedy, and our own Aaron Dugan here for the Lackawanna Football Conference Division III championship game. And Dunmore has just powered their way to a big lead so far here as we start the 4th quarter. See some clean jerseys now in for the Bucks.
Starting to get everybody a little bit of playing time.
That means I have to go to my sheet. And
pull out the rosters.
Was number 20, Christian Buckley.
I believe it was, and there was a flag on the play also.
Buckley was injured.
6 men on the line on the offense. It's first down.
So illegal formation with only 6 men on the line. You got to have 7 on offense.
Well, Dunmore had a couple of backs injured. The biggest question mark was who were going to be the running backs, and it was Donvito and Buckley in there for a while. Both were hurt, so they put Damiano back there. Those guys getting healthy now. We've seen Donvito in there. We just saw Buckley on the play. So maybe that running game could get have a little more.
More weapons is always better.
More weapons, yeah. Buckley up through, and he's just a freshman.
Following some good interior blocking that time. Just a blast play. Lead the back on the backer. Left side, following his fullback and the lineman, getting at a second level of linebackers. And Mazaleski there to take him down.
Looks like we still have most of the linemen in there.
Well, they're a unit. They go as one. Usually you don't want to mix up and put somebody in the middle of that line that is not used to working the blocking schemes.
I don't see Shoemaker, number 65, back in there, who was injured. Harity, room, and Harity's gone. The junior with his 2nd touchdown of the year.
Wow, that was good blocking at the point of attack, and then Harity used his speed to just explode through the secondary of the Old Forge Blue Devils. Dunmore pouring it on here now.
47 yards for Kyle
Here
Harity.
It's just that quick trap. Guard pulls. Harity taking off. Only one man touches shoulder pad coming through, and boy, he's got to thank the boys up front for that hole. That was a pretty easy 47-yard run.
Well, coming in, he had 10 carries for 89 yards. Got half that right there.
Get 50% of your yards on one play. Coming into a final game of the regular season, that's not bad.
Kick from Rinaldi is up and through. Except for one extra point, he's been perfect tonight. And 41-6 now, the score.
Brian J. Calley and Associates is Northeastern Pennsylvania's premier full-service law firm. Known for providing superior legal representation, The firm accurately navigates complex legal landscapes with knowledgeable excellence. Brian J. Calley & Associates is a full-service firm with nearly 40 years of experience. Visit them on the web at brianjcalley.com.
Coach Jack Henzis putting together another winning season for his Dunmore Bucks team.
Another game in the W column. Number 431, it looks like. Bob.
Yep, looks like it. Not much more you can say about Coach Henzis, but really the assistants doing a great job. Kevin McHale and Jeff Mills, offensive and defensive coordinators.
I think that's what it is. When you're in a long time, you get a staff that you're comfortable with. And even though that gets turned over sometimes, as the head man, you have to okay everything and kind of you're going to delegate it more. They know, you know what the head coach wants if you're coming in as an assistant, and you got to make it happen, because if you don't make it happen, you're not going to be there long.
Don't think, though, Coach Henzis is not involved in the game,
No,
because he is. He's not in, I mean, yeah, in the game, but also in practice, because in practice he's really big on fundamentals, on drills, on doing everything the right way.
That's where the teaching comes in, and his experience as a teacher of the little tiny things that make the differences later on in the games and later on in the season to produce victories.
This one will be returnable. Oh, quickly, it looked like Jackson Linwood, a sophomore, number 10.
Good looking return there. Good kick. Pretty deep, picks it up. He just tries to hit that little seam up inside. Dunmore doing a nice job of closing it off before, but he did get a pretty good return out there to 32-yard line. Start this drive. And now we got a different quarterback. So that's Anastasia switch positions now, right?
So Anastasi, last year's quarterback, comes in. Corelli done for the night. Mazaleski was back there trying to get a couple more carries in. Came in with 5 straight 200-yard-plus games with the Dunmore defense.
Got tripped up at a 30-yard line that time, Bob.
The Dunmore defense has shown how good they really are, John.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we thought with the 6 points coming so early, we thought we'd see a few more scores, and they have not been able to get in even with close opportunities.
Couple big turnovers, though, in that first half. And then Dunmore went to the air. Mazaleski, good fake. Taken out of bounds.
For a powerful runner, that was a nice juke move in the open field as he takes it down the left side. And there is no quit in Mr. Mazaleski as he takes this.
If he talked Coach Shue back into getting back into the game.
Look at that little move, grabbing air.
Some scores from around the region, courtesy of NEPAfootball.com. After this play, I'll give you a couple. Not much in doubt. Just a couple spots left in the district playoffs. Some teams headed to Eastern Conference. Mazaleski.
Got the first down.
Yep, take it down.
He's just a pounder, you know.
Charles Vanvano on the stop. So Williamsport leading Berwick in the third. Carbondale shutting out Riverside in the fourth. Valley West shutting out Coughlin fourth quarter. Hazelton shutting out Crestwood. Seems the theme. They're in the fourth quarter. How about Dallas shutting out Lake Lehman? A little surprising there into the fourth quarter. Nanticoke shutting out Hanover. That's a final. A couple more after this. Seems a theme coming. Anastasi's first pass, the tight end Kania with room. Kania powers his way inside the 40 to the 36. Nice play by Levi Kania.
Kania wide open, coming out of the backfield from the fullback position. Dumped off to him and just turned and said, how far can I get? Trying to stay in bounds and get more yards.
Valley View now putting it on Honesdale. That game was close. It's 34-16 in the fourth quarter. Lackawanna, I mentioned the trail score. Northwest beating Tunkhannock 21-17. Pittston area over Wyoming area 21-14 in the fourth quarter. As Anastasia taken down. That was Anthony Casimir, number 70. Couple more. Wallenpaupack in a surprising game, beating Scranton 28-7.
Oh, yeah.
And Western Wayne 1 point better than West Scranton 22-19.
That time the pocket collapsed and a flag on the play. It's going to go against Dunmore. As you see, most of the backups in now for the Bucks on defense, and for the same thing for the Blue Devil offense now. A lot of those backups in getting a little bit of playing time.
So Forge trying to get something up on the board before this game's over.
And that's the surprising thing, Bob, with that many shutouts in a row. A lot of times your second or third team is in at the end of the game, and they give up some scores. There must be a lot of pride on the backups of the defense. The starters must be giving it to them. You better not let our shutout go away.
And you know the backups have seen a lot of playing time, obviously from the scores. We take a look at this one again as Holtzman brings it up.
Good cut. He got what he could as he strung it to the far side and then found that little seam inside. This drive helped by a penalty to get down this deep now as they go inside the 20.
Well, Hopkins still in there, number 71, the starting center. Try a little draw. They get it inside to number 33. Nick Raymond.
Bring up about a 3rd and 2 now.
Clock continues to roll, coming up on the 6-minute mark in this game. Again, you're in a win-win situation. If you're Old Forge, it doesn't matter. You lose, you're still playing for a district championship next week.
Yep.
And then that's the goal. Move forward from there. This game will be in the past tomorrow. And you know Coach Schuback will make sure that happens.
Yeah.
Good cutback on his feet to the end zone. Touchdown, Old Forge. Nice run by number 10, Jackson Linwood.
Linwood wanted to get in that end zone, didn't he? Bounced off and found the seams back and forth. Good footwork, good drive. He takes the pitch to the left side, and that's been their successful plays on the run as Linwood cuts inside the 2 Bucks and slid down there, breaks the 3rd tackle, and then the 4th tackle getting inside. So went by 4 Bucks to get in that end zone.
So Kranitsky on for the extra point. Let's see if they can get this one down. Hold is good, kick is good, and it is no good. Hit the upright, or the low right, something, bounce back in, and maybe nothing going right for Old Forge tonight. They trail late in this game. So Forge gets back into the end zone late in this game. Good run in there by a sophomore. We got a backup kicker now in there as well. A little line drive. Picked up by McDade. He's ridden down by Chris Matsko, the junior.
Good luck, Blue Devils football team, cheerleaders, and their parents from Ravello's. Ravello's, located in downtown Old Forge, have been supporting the Blue Devils sports for close to 50 years.
Not too far away is Ravello's to us.
Right, we can smell the pizza.
Yeah, could smell it, taste it, feel it. Might hit it after the game.
You're making me hungry now, Bob.
Yeah, no doubt. A little snack after the game. Our crew doing an excellent job. This is week 10 of high school football, believe it or not, John. When August hits, it just flies.
Yeah,
you asked me what happened for the last 8 weeks, I couldn't tell you.
It always goes that way, and especially when you're having some great weather and enjoying the games, and then you find out at the end of the season who's going to be in the playoff picture, and lining them all up and getting for the exciting time of the year to see who's going to make a deep run.
You know what's throwing me off a little bit? The weather. It's been beautiful out and gorgeous.
So this
Even
is the best football fall we've had in years and years.
District playoffs. Next thing up for both teams and some other teams in our area. And then into the state playoffs. So that's always a good time of year.
Always nice to see somebody from our area go deep into the state playoffs, and a couple that have won state championships.
Big run on the inside. Alex Reese, sophomore fullback.
Nice job on the gut trap for the fullback. We've seen both teams use this play, and that's a standard Dunmore play. And Reese taking no chance with that football as he wraps both hands around it coming up the middle there. The clock continues to run as we are in that that special rule they have.
No, it doesn't matter now.
They got it back
They got
inside
it back.
that?
It's under 35.
Okay.
So McDade in as the backup quarterback. Darcy had a phenomenal night, over 200 yards passing.
They had a highlight night in a big game.
Oh,
Darcy
absolutely. And a lot of big plays. Caleb Kilmer on for the carry. Here's now 3A. John, you're very familiar with this. Myers-Nanticoke still feeling it out on this game because Myers can Nanticoke can overtake Myers if they lose to GAR. A lot to figure out for that fourth spot. No doubting, Prep Western Wayne Lake Lehman in. Prep the overwhelming favorite. You're very familiar with them since you work for on the Prep Radio Network. How good are they?
Prep is an outstanding team. What impresses me, much like both teams out here, especially Dunmore's, is their defense. Prep's defense has been outstanding this year. I believe they have 5 or 6 shutouts, and their defense doesn't have any stars on it, the way the Cavaliers have been playing, but they have a swarming defense that just makes plays and just shuts the other team down.
Of course, they made a run last year, lost to Middletown. They could see them again a couple weeks down the line. If they win the district, which they may and probably should, they'll play a team from District 4, which we think it's Danville. I think it's Danville. We've seen them this year, and that should be a good game between two local teams.
I enjoy doing the Cavalier games, as I've done the last few years, being a Prep alumnus, doing that with Bob Baviglia, my partner, and have a good time and get to see a lot of good football.
Prep will play North Pocono tomorrow afternoon at 2:30.
Right.
Down at Scranton Memorial Stadium.
I'll be there.
I will not.
You'll be elsewhere.
I'll be elsewhere. The one that's a little bit tighter, and they get most teams in, is that 4A. We've seen Berwick, Dallas, Valley View, North Pocono this year, all right here on my TV. Crestwood, Pittston area, Coughlin, Wyoming area, all in, and all playing good football. They could upset one of those teams. We're going to probably see one upset in the first week, I think.
Oh, absolutely. With that many teams in it and then that close, when you see with 3 and 4 losses, it looks like Berwick is the class of that division. You know, something unforeseen happens, that could change. But really, Berwick should go through that. It's the vying for the other positions and to see who gets to play Berwick as the playoffs move on.
Berwick losing to Williamsport. If they drop that second one, it doesn't matter. They have the top seed, and they have their starting quarterback back, who was injured, Marshman, at the beginning of the season. And their offense is looking pretty good. They have a tough defense as well.
They're getting back to that Berwick of old when the Bulldogs are just so tough when you come postseason time.
So they get 3 weeks of playoffs in 4A. That takes you up to about November 17th.
That's still a crazy thing where some of the teams have, like Old Forge next week, playing one game and that's it, and the other has 8 teams in that same classification, and that's what's a little bit crazy about the balancing of the classes in Pennsylvania high school football these days.
Yep, for the second year. So under 30 seconds to play, and that should just about do it. This one's in the book. Another win for Coach Henses, number 431 of his outstanding career. And it's a big one. They win the Lackawanna Football Conference Division III championship, and they remain undefeated. They go to 10-0. The final score, Dunmore 41, Old Forge 12. Let's talk about Old Forge quick. Lackawanna Trail back here next week. So the crowd will be back and into that game, and that should be a heck of a game. It was close here the first time.
A rematch and a rivalry. Whenever you rematch against a quality team, you know they're going to have them bring something else, saying it's our turn to do it. It's tough to beat a pretty good team a couple times in the same year, and so it should be a good game next week for the Blue Devils.
Tomorrow on Fox, the biggest game of the year in the Big Ten. It's Penn State, Ohio State on Fox 56, starting at 3, kickoff around 3:30 or so. That's on Fox 56. John, Penn State's looking pretty good. Ohio State, though, wants to get that win And some are saying whoever wins this game has a good shot at making it to the Final Four.
Well, over the years, you've seen this game really turn the season at near the end, especially when they play it this late, of who goes on and who doesn't. And sometimes the other team doesn't have to be that high ranked or record to knock the others off.
Aaron now with our players of the game. Aaron?
Well, Bob, let's start with Gavin Darcy. You knew you're still going into the postseason, but what did it mean to get this win here tonight?
Oh, this win is so big. We've practiced for this game the whole season. We knew it was going to be a big game. We had to come out strong and do the best we could the whole game, and we're just so proud.
You really showed some skill out there with the ball tonight. Who are some of your favorite targets?
Nate Fangio, Noah O'Malley, Steve Borgia, they all made great plays.
And how about your defense? I mean, this is the first touchdown you've even given up in quite a while, right. So how well is your defense playing? I
still think our defense played amazing, especially with the team that we're playing. This is one of the best teams that we've played all year, and they did a great job holding them to only, what was it, 13, I think, 12? So, yeah, they did an amazing job.
All right, great job tonight.
Thank you so much.
Let's move on to our next player of the game, Frank Damiano. Coming into tonight, you knew it was going to be a battle. Talk to me about the defense stepping up in this hostile environment.
The defense did really well. We couldn't be prouder than them. They knew what had to be done, even though they're tired at some points. They still stepped up, put their best foot forward, and gave the best effort throughout the whole entire game.
A very rich tradition at Dunmore. Perfect 10-0. What did it mean to get that for your coach?
It meant so much to us. Like Gavin said, we were preparing for this basically the whole season. You know, after playing less competitive teams, we practice not just this week, but all the weeks coming up to this. We knew that we had to be physical, that they were going to be a competitive team, and we said all week that the best team is going to come out on top, and we proved to be that tonight.
What are you going to do during the week to prepare, and how are the guys on the sideline feeling? I know Borgia went down.
We knew that it wasn't serious when he went down. We knew that, you know, by the way he's acting, he was just a cramp. But, you know, they're so excited that, you know, just to come out here and, you know, come down here to their field and, you know, score on them and do our best. It was just great.
All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
So the Dunmore Bucks putting their will on the Old Forge Blue Devils tonight, pretty dominating fashion. John, a little bit surprising the score, but once you see what Dunmore did here tonight, you have to be impressed.
Absolutely impressed, and impressed the way they took over the game after having the answer by Old Forge make it a close game at 7-6. From then on, it was every opportunity that they had, with whether it was a turnover or whether it was a big play and long pass from Darcy, Dunmore got it done in the end zone, and the defense was outstanding, really shutting the door several times on Old Forge throughout the middle of the game.
So playoffs start next week. Stay tuned right here on MyTV and join us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll let you know if we have a playoff game coming up next week on Friday. Don't forget Penn State, Ohio State, tomorrow at 3 on Fox 56. For the entire Fox 56 Sports Group, for Aaron Dugan, John Kennedy, this is Bob Ide saying so long from Old Forge.
You're watching Wendy's Friday Night Rivals on MyTV WQMY.